Welcome to the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness. Yes, welcome back to the Chamber of Death, everybody. I am joined, as usual, by Engine Chief and Campy. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We are good.
Love hearing it. Tonight, we are kicking off...
Campy has children listening?
I do. Like, everybody can hear you.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, cool, because we're getting down to the important matches, right?
Yes, we are approaching the championship, you know.
Well, this kind of championship, you know. Smaug gets slain.
Yeah, and for a good segue. So for Campy, this is all on the line for tonight. Of course, we are talking about our fantasy leagues. So check this out. If you are new to the stream or to the show, or to the Chamber of Death, all of us put some skin in the game to make things a little more saucy this tournament for the Third Age Throwdown. We all drafted rosters of Lord of the Rings characters, each of which can score points.
You haven't overlaid the image still.
Oh, thank you, Cammy. Yes. Because these things block what I'm trying to share. Yeah, thanks. Good call. Yeah, so can you guys see that? We're in business. Yeah, so you on your fantasy teams, you win fights and score points, right? Each round you go is worth more points, right? We are in the fourth round in the regional finals, as you can see here. These wins tonight are worth 40 points. So you can see in the green numbers here that Chucky, who's not yet on the stream tonight, he's a member of our panel, one of our founders. He's got a big lead here, 315. Largely because of Farmer Maggot making the most unlikely run imaginable. With all upsets, right? Upset. And last night's upset, because of our seed differential upset bonus, was worth 76 points. Because, just to refresh people, your upset bonus, if you're one of your characters on your fantasy team pulls an upset against a more highly seeded character, you get a bonus of the seed differential times the round number. We're in the fourth round, and last night's seed differential was 9 because it was a 10 against a 1. Farmer Maggot slew Sauron. So that was about as unlikely as you can get. I'll show everyone the bracket real fast before we launch the first fight to show you how we got here. So, as you can see, last night, if you missed it, and by the way, easy to go watch any fights that you might have missed on our website. Just go to middleearthmadness.com. You see it there at the bottom. And you got everything you need. Character stats. We'll be talking a lot tonight about each character's quote unquote Madden stats or their damage, all their stats that drive the battle engine. All of that is on the website. So go check it out, and it links to YouTube where we have all the edited fights, right? So if you didn't catch the full stream, you can see just the battles and catch up on action that way. But quick recap. Last night, Gandalf defeated Galadriel, much to Engine Chief's chagrin.
Yeah, I'm out of the fantasy league with that loss, and yet here I am showing up for the next round.
Because you are a champ of the finest variety. By the way, we'll don't let me forget. We'll handicap a little odds the rest of the way after this quick recap here. So, in the Mordor region last night, we had Farmer Maggot pull another upset, his greatest one yet. Grip, Fang, and Wolf, his trusty hounds, were able to help him upset Sauron epic showdown. But, as promised, that didn't actually win Chucky, who owns Farmer Maggot on his fantasy team. It didn't actually win him the fantasy league, but it put him as the heavy favorite. And by the way, so this is the first Fell 4 matchup. We will have Gandalf against Farmer Maggot. Doesn't seem like a good one, but I know no one's looking past Farmer Maggot at this point, so Gandalf's got it coming. Engine Chief, tell us real quick if you would, and I can go back to the other screen if we need to, what our odds are going forward the rest of the way in our fantasy league.
Yeah, so I did Monte Carlo simulations of the matches that remain, and it comes out that of the 6 owners in this league, 4 of them have been eliminated. I was the 4th one. I have no chance of winning the fantasy league now. So all is left is Chucky, as you said, has a huge lead now, but could possibly be passed by Campy, who still has 2 characters alive. And if they really, really do well from here, could pass Chucky. So I rate the odds as Sims show that Chucky has an 85% chance to hold the lead that he has.
Nice. And Campy?
15. He has a 15.
Oh. So Josh is mathematically eliminated too, despite Elrond still being in it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. He can't catch up from here. Yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it from Engine Chief. It's a 2-man race now. Campy against Engine Chief. Excuse me. Campy against Chucky.
I'm the new Farmer Maggot. Total underdog.
Well, yeah, you kind of are. But as we look at the fights, I don't know that I really feel like you're that much of an underdog, and I don't want to jinx it, but check this out. Okay, so our first fight, Smaug against Saruman. Now, just off the top, in the lore, I don't know if Saruman could slay Smaug. Do you guys think?
Not any more than Farmer Maggot can slay Sauron.
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah, this seems very, very even.
Yeah. Let us see what the stats say about how even it could or couldn't be, should or shouldn't be even. Here you can see all the battle stats, right? So green line Saruman, blue line Smaug, if you're new to this. You can see in the red bar charts there in the background the extent to which each character has an advantage, right? So it's the best example is, the downtick of the green line is a major armor deficit for Saruman compared to Smaug. And if you go over here in the table, you can easily see at a glance why. Smaug has 87 armor. Saruman has 22. So that's a huge advantage for a dragon over, a wizard who doesn't really depend on his armor for defense because... Let me get rid of that banner real quick so we can see the full table. Sorry about that. Yeah, because wizards depend on things like spirit, stamina, dexterity, shiftiness, values like that, valor, elusiveness. He'll try to dodge and not even let the beast engage him, right? Things like that. So let's see. Saruman's going to use range. So is Smaug here. So they're both wanting to stay back and avoid getting engaged and just, wail on each other with spells and with dragon fire. How will that play out? Well, if we look at accuracy, we kind of cross-multiply. From range, Saruman has 8 points greater accuracy than Smaug. However, Smaug has slightly better piercing. He has very, very good piercing. Obviously, we're talking about Dragon's Fire. So he's got a 91. However, if you look at Saruman, he's got an 88 with his Istari Incantatio. So his spells are very piercing too. So slight accuracy advantage for Smaug to the tune of 8 points. But what he's comparing that against is this cross-multiply value here. Dexterity is your ability to dodge a ranged attack. Smaug is not very good at that. He's got a 61. But look, neither is Saruman. So, Saruman, fair to say, will land slightly more hits against Smaug's dexterity than Smaug will against Saruman. And then, likewise, when those blows land from range, you cross-multiply these, and not literally cross-multiply, but just looking at the chart here, Saruman's 88 piercing will go against Smaug's 83 deflection. So his deflection's pretty good there. He'll deflect a fair amount of those spells with his dragon's armor. Smaug attacking Saruman, his piercing will go against an 82 deflection. So only a very slight advantage there for Smaug in the range scenario. Did I misstate any of that, guys?
No. You belabored a little bit, but yeah, that's it. They're pretty even. Maybe a slight edge in hits to Saruman, maybe a slight edge in piercing to Smaug. All that pretty much cancels. And you're left with miscellaneous stuff like magic and toughness and spirit, which I generally favor Saruman, but not by a lot. So that's his ability to absorb hits and keep fighting like Rocky.
Yes.
And then you haven't mentioned that you will occasionally go to their other weapons, but not really very often.
Which made a big difference in last night's regional finals.
It did,
fights.
yeah.
They were forced a fair amount, despite the similar 8 or 9% chance of using their less preferred weapon. We found them doing that an awful lot. So, look, that'll be a clear advantage to Smaug if that happened. Well, am I saying that too quickly? Smaug overall is much better in melee than Saruman is. Saruman, unlike Gandalf, does not have a magic sword. So he wants no piece of up-and-close personal combat with a dragon. As we're joined by Patty Man. How you doing, Patty Man?
Hey, fellas. How's it going?
You are just in time for the fight, my friend. Shall we fight?
I guess so.
And yeah, you should say, this is Patty Man's last guy, even though, Patty Man, you are already mathematically eliminated, I'm sorry to say.
The dream goes on.
But he can move up.
Yeah,
He can move up from whatever place he's in to something like second.
Yeah, true enough. And with that comes, I guess, marginal bragging rights. Why not?
If I could come in last place and actually win the tournament, that would be great.
There you go. That'd be wild. Yep. Let us see how it goes. Let us fight. The first fight of the night, the third fight of the regional finals. For a trip to the Fell Four, we have Saruman against Smaug. Let us fight. First attack to Smaug. A hit, a wound off the bat with dragon fire. Slight smite. And Smaug takes the early lead. Saruman gets himself up, dusts himself off, flecks jars of charcoal from his robes, perhaps, blows out the candle burning on the top of his wooden staff, and attacks. Hits, wounds, slight smite to even the fight. And we are off and running. Smaug counters. Hits, wounds, only a minor damage. Saruman counters, hits, does no damage with his Istari incantation. Smaug counters, misses with his claws. Oh, Saruman, another spell casting fails to penetrate. Smaug hits, wounds, only slight with the iron claws. Smaug, 2 times now, forced to use his melee attack. Not doing too much damage yet. Saruman's turn. He engages but can't hit. Smaug counters. Engages, can't hit. Saruman, same thing, they're dancing. A hit and a wound by Smaug with another slight smite. The Dragonfire. Taking the Wizard of Orthanc down to 39 hit points. Saruman in a bit of trouble here in the 12th round. Can he do any damage to the worm? He engages, cannot hit with his spells, and Smaug counters. He engages, cannot hit. Saruman hits, no damage. Tink off the dragon's armor, which is formidable indeed, except for one little hole, through which might pass a black arrow, perchance, but perhaps not a wizard spell. Let's see. Smaug's turn. He attacks. He hits. He wounds. Tink! Deflected by the wizard, mostly. Only 1.5 damage. Saruman counters. He cannot hit. Smaug hits. Wounds! A slight smite. And now Saruman is in trouble. He must hit. A death stroke would be handy here. Can he pull anything off? Smaug. He wounds! 3 damage. Not enough. And Smaug comes back. He could finish it here with a spell stroke. He hits! Deflected by Saruman, who counters with his staff. Hits! No damage. Smaug comes back. He hits! He wounds! Only 3 damage. Ooh, Saruman's hanging in there. You are, after all, never out of the fight. What can Saruman do? He engages but cannot hit. Smaug counters. Hits! Wounds! Only 3 damage. Saruman is not slain yet, but he's going to need a heavily hewn or a death stroke. What does he have up his wizard's sleeve? A hit! No damage, and Smaug comes back. Hit! Wounds! Slay! Yeah! And Smaug roasts Saruman for the win.
Those hits were 9-2.
Yeah. Yeah, and they each, let's see, so...
Remember we said Saruman did have advantages in spirit and all those ones which are how you accept damage and still fight on like Rocky. So he kept getting pounded and kept fighting on. That was his major advantage, but I don't understand why he couldn't do much to Smaug there. Luck at the draw.
Yeah, no kidding.
So accurate.
What was accurate? His shooting, you mean?
The dragon fire.
The dragon, yeah, he was just accurate. Even if he didn't do massive damage, he kept hitting.
Yeah, 25 rounds, so that was 12 per side. I mean, 9 hits and 12 tries. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. For a character that we were actually knocking him a little bit, not much, but the Dragonfire wasn't as accurate as the spell casting, right? And neither are as accurate as something like, an elven bow. So, got the job done. Everyone, drop us a comment if you're watching, and let us know what you think, and let us know who you got. Let us know whatever you want. If your comments are appropriate, we'll even show them on screen. And if they're inappropriate, we'll definitely show them on screen. Bring it.
When the kids aren't here.
Yes, when the kids aren't here. We will filter accordingly. So, guys, we are off and running. Let us give Campy his fantasy points.
Yeah.
Make it official, Campy.
I get bonus points. It was a huge upset.
What? 1 times 4. You get 4 extra bonus points. Hey, it's something. 44. There you go. Bringing
and
Campy
in terms of fantasy percentages, it just raised from 15 to 23.
Yes.
Hey, man. 7% boost. You'll take it, dude.
I will. Look, Michael Jordan wore number 23 for several years.
He did. And then 45 for a while, but let's remember the 23 one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That was the Farmer Maggot years. He could not.
Those are the
stop.
Farmer Maggot years, yeah. He's still pulling upsets, but he was pooped his pants. So, what is our next fight, ladies and gentlemen? Ah, yes. Radagast against Elrond. Guys, in no particular order, give us your thoughts on these matchups, just from the lore, how you see it playing out in your own minds, and I will cue up all the math.
Well, I was hoping we would have a white council in the final four, but I don't know. Elrond is pretty fail.
Yeah, we still could have the White Council in the final.
Yeah, so Radagast against Gandalf, right? We could.
Right. That could be
Or
the final.
Elrond against Gandalf, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. Yeah. We could have wizard on wizard violence in the final.
That we could indeed. At this point, it might even be likely, because Gandalf's got Maggot. I won't say likely against him anymore, but yeah. If Radagast wins this, why not? So let's see. We've got, let's see what the math says here. Campy, do you have any thoughts on this one before we look at the actual numbers?
I mean, the numbers I think will ultimately tell all. I think Radagast was a little bit of the sleeper in the draft, in part because he doesn't do a lot of fighting in the books.
Exactly
So,
right. Yeah.
He may be more evenly matched with Elrond than the seeding would suggest.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Cool. So let's see what the battle engine says. And that can inform our discussion perhaps a little more. And I will remember to take away the thing there so we can actually see. Cool. Green line, Elrond. Blue line, Radagast the Wizard. Thing that stands out like dog's balls is the armor advantage for Elrond. Well, but it's still, that's misleading though, because, that's 48 armor, which is subpar, below average, against terrible armor in Radagast. So, otherwise, man, we're very even in this one, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
What else stands out to you guys?
I feel like Radagast has done really well for his matchups,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't count him out.
You can't. Yeah, you can't count him out. I mean, look, we could
It
argue.
surprises me
shouldn't
how
have been a
similar
5.
those two lines are. Look at that. I mean,
Mhm.
you usually don't get lines that track this well unless it's like dwarf on dwarf or hobbit on hobbit. You know what I mean? These are remarkably similar.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can see that kind of from the lore, right? I mean, Elrond, despite his depiction in the flashback scene in the Fellowship of the Ring movie where he was wielding a sword, of course, nothing in the lore says he couldn't have done that, but we know him more in the Third Age, and this tournament is called Third Age Throwdown for a reason. It centers on the time in the Third Age, leading up to and during the War of the Ring, right? And in that, by then he was wielding Vilya, the Elven Ring, and protecting Rivendell, more like a wizard would do, right? And not getting his armor on and getting his Elvish blade out and going to melee, right? So that's sort of baked into the stats you see here. They're both going to favor range combat here. Elrond, again, is going to wield his Elven Ring. Radagast is going to wield Yavanna's Gale. The accuracy, Elrond 78 against Radagast 63. He's going to land a fair amount of those ranged attacks. However, Radagast 74 against Elrond 74. Those are going to wash. Those are going to be coin tosses. So, going to be harder for Radagast to hit than it will be for Elrond to hit. But go ahead.
But he has a piercing advantage.
He being
Radagast.
Yep, so Radagast is going to go against 66 armor with 77 piercing. Quick math, so that's an 11-point advantage instead of Elrond going 78 piercing against 80 deflection, right? Which is a disadvantage. So that's an interesting balance, man. That is dead even.
It's very much like the last match. One character has a slightly higher chance to hit, but they might not pierce, and the other one vice versa. So those kind of wash.
And how often will they get to use their backup weapon? Looks like even less than the first fight, about 5 to 6% of the time. Yeah, so really dead even. Since no one on this stream owns these characters, let's pick this one. Who you guys got?
I just feel like it kind of favors Radagast with the dodginess. So
Yeah.
I think he's just going to be hard to hit.
Yep, fair.
I give the upset
Look at
to
those.
Radagast.
Look at those red lines on the far right. Magic and spirit, right? He can absorb more punishment. Although, as we saw in the last match, if you hit him 9 times, it'll finally kill him. But I mean, with everything else being even, I think maybe Radagast can pull a Rocky here and stay standing through quite a few wounds.
And if he does, my hopes have been dashed.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Campy, what outcome do you need? You need Radagast to go down. So you're rooting heavily for Elrond.
Yes. We need a matchup of the twos.
Yes, okay.
And for our audience, that's because Radagast is owned by Chucky, right? And we don't need Chucky to get any more points. Build his lead in fantasy points.
Yeah, we're forced to root against Chucky because he's got such a grotesque lead in fantasy. Yep, so we will sort of be you guys will have to be rooting for Elrond in this fight. Anything else before we kick this one off, ladies and gentlemen?
But I think Radagast has a slightly more than 50-50 shot here.
Interesting. Yes. Well, let us find out, shall we? Someone say the magic words.
Let us find.
Fight.
Excellently said. In the next fight of the night, and the last regional finals fight of the Third Age Throwdown, for a trip to the Fell Four, we have Elrond against Radagast. Let us fight! First attack to Elrond. Tink! Hits, but does not wound. He was forced to use his sword of Imladris there, right off the bat. Now, what does Radagast do? He counters, and hurts, but not much with the spell with his staff, so Yavanna's Gale. Minimal damage. Now Elrond comes back. Hits! Again, does no damage. Radagast counters. Engages but cannot hit. Elrond, a hit! A wound!
Ooh.
Grievously smitten. What is it? Heavily hewn, I should say. With the Elven Ringvillia. And after 5 rounds, big advantage to Elrond. Campy, would you like to have a word?
You're never out of the fight.
Oh, okay, so you don't want to jinx it. All right. Radagast's turn. He comes back. He engages. Cannot hit. Elrond hits. No damage. Radagast comes back. Hits. Wounds. Tink. Mostly deflected by Elrond. Yavanna's Gale not doing much damage in the early stages. Elrond counters. He hits. Does no damage. Now Radagast's turn. He hits. He wounds. A slight smite to slightly even the fight. Still an advantage to Elrond here. Now, Elrond regains the initiative. He brandishes his elvish ring and hits and wounds. Another slight smite. Now Radagast is on life support. But as Campy said, you are never out of the fight until you are slain. Radagast gets up, dusts himself off, and attacks. A hit! No damage, deflected by the Lord of Rivendell, who hits! Does not wound. Still a chance for Radagast in the 14th round. What can he do? He hits, he wounds! Only 4 damage. Not gonna cut it with Yavanna's Gale. Back comes Elrond. Can he finish it? Missed! Radagast counters. A hit and a wound! Tink! Slight damage. Not enough to slow down Elrond, who now attacks again. A hit, but no damage. Countered by Radagast. A hit, no damage. Here comes Elrond. He engages, but cannot wound. He's not finishing the fight. He's leaving the door ajar.
Wide open.
Wide open for Radagast. Can he capitalize? He engages, but cannot hit. Elrond counters. Hits! Doesn't wound. Radagast still in it. He attacks. Cannot hit. Elrond attacks. Can't even engage. Radagast hits! No damage. Elrond attacks. Hits! No damage. Radagast comes back. A hit! Again, no damage. Some good defense going on here in the middle rounds. Who is going to either even the fight or win it? Thoughts, real quick, gentlemen.
Let's go Radagast. Upset.
Elrond's initiative.
We said that Elrond couldn't absorb very many hits, and he has absorbed very many hits, so I don't know.
Yeah. The Lord of Rivendell attacks. Can he finish it? He engages. Cannot hit. Radagast counters. Cannot hit. Elrond coming back. Hits! Wounds! Is it enough? Slay!
That was a death stroke.
A death stroke. Unnecessary in the 29th round, and yet just as final. Elrond slays Radagast. How you feeling,
What
Campy?
a night! What a night for
man.
Campy. Campy, your kids got to see you be heroic here.
Yes.
Now I just have to take down the wily farmer maggot.
Yeah, well, no one can do that, but your chances of winning coming into the night were 15%, and then they went to 23, and now they went to, wait for it, 38.
Yes.
Woo!
Campy's never been. You haven't been that excited about a 38% since Mr. Finn's class, have you?
Should have studied.
Inside joke.
Yeah, me and Campy's chemistry teacher was brutal. 38% was not bad in that class. So, good night of fights, guys. And Campy is literally a happy camper. So, let us have a look at the updated bracket, shall we? If I can load it up over y'all. We have our final four set, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we take a look? If I can get it up. Yes, there we go. You guys see that?
Yes, indeed.
Let me zoom. Hold up. All right. So, as we said earlier, one side of the bracket features Gandalf against the apparently indestructible Farmer Maggot of the East Farthing. The other side of the bracket, which we just set up tonight, yes, 2 2s. Smaug against Elrond. Initial thoughts about these guys?
I mean, I think the Smaug and the Elrond matchup is going to be just a coin toss. And I think we're going to see Farmer Maggot in the finals just because you can't bet against a guy who's won every match he's been in as an underdog.
Yeah, truly. I mean, oof. Oof. I mean, if we're going off the lore... Go ahead.
I'm going to say Smaug. Smaug is a slight favorite against Elrond. And Gandalf is a favorite against Farmer Maggot. I don't care. Maggot's made a dream Cinderella run to here. But he'll be an underdog again. And the thing is, in terms of fantasy, Campy needs to win both of these again. I think he's favored in both, but it's hard to win both.
It is.
If either one goes against, then we give the trophy to Jackie.
Yeah. Speaking of scoring,
Go
ahead.
So look at scores.
Yeah, let's look at scores.
Because Chucky's got 310 right now.
He's got. Let's see. Sorry, where are we at here? There we go.
315 to 204. Right.
Sorry. Where are we at? There we go. 315 to correct 204. Well said.
Is the 204 up to date? Did you already enter the?
I did. I haven't given Elrond his points yet, but that's Wait, was that 40 or was that an upset?
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it also doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah. Well, go ahead and do it though while we figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's not an upset. It's just going to be a 40-point win, which does bring Josh up to 140, but fruitlessly. Yeah, so Campy 204, Chucky 315. Haunty, for what it's worth, 144. Really, really good in the early rounds. Stacked up a bunch of points, but all of his characters are slain, so he has no more potential points remaining. Saruman, who was slain tonight. Sorry, Patty man. So to make it slightly easier to read, we'll make that official. Boom. Okay, reformat that. Patty man, good run, dude.
Yeah, could have gone a lot of different ways.
We thought you had the best draft out of anyone, man. With Saruman,
I would have traded rosters with him.
Aragorn.
I would have traded rosters with him.
Yeah, totally. You were the brunt of all these early upsets, you know, that could have gone either way. So
It is what it is.
And Dattel, you too. I mean, definitely honorable mention. Stacking up 143 in this bad boy might still be good for third place. Yeah, maybe.
No.
1
point behind Hanty, and
oh, you're right. Yeah.
Speaking of 1 point, think about this.
I already have.
You've thought about it, right? You trailed Chucky by 111 points. You could wait. If you win a 50 and a 60, like if Gandalf goes all the way, you'd win a 50 and a 60, and those are both be non-upsets. So they would be no bonus points. That would be 110 points, and you'd lose by 1 point to Chucky.
Oh man! But what if? So he needs Smaug against Gandalf in the finals, right? That's obviously what you're rooting for.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do the math in my head, but I think if Smaug went all the way and Gandalf failed,
well, he's got Farmer Maggot, so if Gandalf fails, I'm toast anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So basically, yeah, you still have to. Is that right? You have to win both battles again tomorrow night?
Oh,
I do.
Man.
I do, and it would be better if the brackets had been reversed and it was Gandalf facing Elrond and Smaug and Farmer Maggot.
That's right. As it is, you have really good chance for Gandalf to beat Maggot, but just a coin flip on the other side.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Wonder whose brilliant idea all these bonus points were.
Really? Yes. Well, I wonder what it's like to still be alive in the fantasy tournament, right, Pate Man?
Yeah. What's it like to have points?
What's it like?
I'm with you on that,
What's
Patty,
it
man.
like to have-
I have not yet
What's
felt
it like
the
to have
feeling.
characters?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely replay this properly in a full season format. I'm looking forward to that too. Once we and again for people just tuning in or just watching this later on stream or on playback or whatever, the whole point of this is sort of a proof of concept. You hear us prattling about the fantasy league. The reason we're testing all of this is because we want to make this a product for all of you, so you can draft your own fantasy rosters and make your own fantasy leagues, invite your friends, all do the whole thing. It's going to be freaking awesome. But for now, we've just got Gandalf. Yeah, it really just comes down to tomorrow night. I mean, look. Campy, we'll know tomorrow night. You need Gandalf to win that. Okay, let's play it out. So if Gandalf does win that, Chucky has no more points remaining. So can Smaug lose this?
No, because I don't have any
No,
more.
because that's the thing I said.
That's the thing you said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if Gandalf wins twice, he earns a 50 and a 60 is 110, and Chucky wins by a single point.
Oh, man, that's gonna sting. That's gonna be Buffalo Bills in the '90s style.
Indeed.
And I ran a whole bunch of Monte Carlo things, and the typical gap between first and second place is like 80 points. It is hard. It is hard to come up with a scenario where first and second are separated by a point. We may have done it.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Well, with that, it's time to wrap. But guys, Patman, Campy, Engine Chief, Campy's family. Anyone listening?
Campy's family.
Thanks for hopping on tonight. Hope you guys had a good time. 2 good fights tonight, as you would expect for the regional finals, right? So did not disappoint.
No, they were both really good fights.
So make sure you guys are all following us on your favorite platforms, whatever those social platforms are. We are on all of them. I say all loosely. There's probably ones out there that I don't know about. But otherwise, yeah, drop us a like. Make sure you're subscribed so we can deliver you the good word for all the juicy stuff in the pipeline. Tell a friend. Let's grow this thing. Let's link with fellow developers. That'd be useful. Let's link with fellow Tolkien fans. I know there's a lot of you guys out there. We had actually a comment from the UK, first UK comment that we had on social the other day saying, "Oh, we can never watch your streams. It's too bloody late." And to that I say, sorry. I can't change the time zones, but we do have replays,
Middle Earth.
man.
Middle Earth was flat, and you didn't have that issue. But our world is round.
Our world, yeah, exactly. It's round. I won't say anything cross against the UK. Love you guys. You guys invented Tolkien, and we're merely grateful for.
No kidding.
In fact, one day I want to go to Oxford and see all the old haunts, man. I've been to London a few times, but never out there to Oxford to see. I know Haunty's been one of our panelists here, but dude, I'd love to drink at the pub where the Inklings hung out and to see Tolkien's grave and everything there in Oxford. So that's on the list. Make that happen. But yeah, shout out to the UK. Shout out to Europe. I know there's a lot of Tolkien fans out there that are just coming across our site, judging by the web.
But at least all this stuff is on YouTube, so you can watch it almost live. It feels live.
Well said. Yes, and you can filter out all of our idle prattle if that's not your thing. Some people like it, others don't. So all good, man. You can filter it down and just watch a 5-minute fight. More often like a 2-minute fight, and they're all on YouTube, edited down accordingly, like that. So, hey, thank you everyone for watching, and until the next battle, remember, as Professor Tolkien tells us, you can only come to the morning through the shadows.
But where there is life, there is always hope. You are never out of the fight.